don't know me, my name is Natalie AsherI, and my senior project is called Natalie's Declassified Exchange Survival Guide, and essentially it's just a rundown of the tips and tricks that I used in my time participating in a short-term exchange here at Concordia, and it's just to help benefit others who are like in the future years here at Concordia that are going to be going through those exchange experiences to kind of get the most out of it, because I know that my time in Spain was really valuable and I wanted to help other people get the most benefit from their experiences, because it's really a life-changing kind of event. So yeah, I knew who my mentor was going to be before I even knew what my project was going to be. When preparing for my second exchange trip, I just sat down with Miss Booth and I asked her if she would be my mentor, and we kind of talked about what my project could be that would be able to benefit the exchange in the future years. And I loved it, and I felt like it was something that I could really connect with, and so then the idea was born. So we just kind of sat down in the fall after the exchange students had left, and we just talked about everything that we wanted to make sure that my booklet included that we thought would have the most benefit when preparing for such an event. So this is my title page. I just wanted it to include a lot of different photos that encompassed my trip. And this is a table of contents. I'm not going to bore you with the details or reading through every page of this almost 20-page packet, but that's what I included. I think my project is different than most other people's projects because mine really started my sophomore year when I first went on the exchange, because I drew from all of my experiences in my 2 trips to Spain in order to kind of create and mold the project that it ended up being. And so I really just used everything that I learned when I was there, and like all of the things that I wish I would have done differently the first time, I kind of used those the second time to like model and like test out what really did make a difference. And so like I talk in the project about how language was something that was like really difficult for me, like actually speaking, because I was so nervous, and I just talked about how like important it was, and how even though it's difficult, it's something that's definitely worth it. And the second year, that is exactly what I did. I spoke Spanish so much more, and like it really improved it, and I think that I'm a lot better at Spanish because of it. And so little examples like that are throughout the whole project about how things that I wish that I would have done differently, and like how I implemented them, and like not specifically things that I wish I would have done differently, but more like just applying those things that I wish I would have done differently into the project. And so that was a really, really cool thing to kind of see how I could even help myself in thinking about the things that I was putting into my project. And I think it really made a big difference throughout the whole thing, because these are things that I've used myself, and these are things that are tried and true, at least for me, and they're from my own expertise, and I'm no expert, but it's just still really cool to see all my hard work into this project. So my project ended up being kind of a long, drawn-out project because I'm a bit of a procrastinator, so I really had to learn to set deadlines for myself, because the project was all up to me and my own speed for when it got done. And I found myself frequently consulting with Miss Booth, my mentor, for encouragement and more ideas to get stuff done, because I just really wanted to be mindful of the fact that this is something that Miss Booth could utilize for years to come. So I just really wanted it to be to her liking and something that she was also passionate about, because I knew that it was going to benefit other kids who were going to be experiencing something that I enjoyed so much. Like that just really put a passion behind my project to make sure that it was great. And yeah, I'm telling you, if you ever need a hype woman, Miss Booth is the person, because she encouraged me the whole way through my project and let me know that I was on track and that it was really going somewhere. So that was a big thing, and just keeping myself motivated is getting that approval from Miss Booth, because I knew that it was going to make a difference. So essentially, the way the exchange is set up is Miss Booth has these meetings before they travel, and so I really wanted to do it more on the travel side of things than the hosting side of things. There is a section for hosting because I think that's important too, but I really wanted to target the travel side because I think that there were a lot of things that I covered that really do make a big difference in your trip, like your attitude and like journaling it. I journal both of my trips, and that's something that I value so much, and I actually can't read through them because like they make me sad to miss it, but those are something that like I cherish. Like I'm taking those with me in the future. Every place I go, it's like just setting yourself up for such a successful trip is half of getting there. So that was just something really important to me to include, and I think I did a good job of that. I guess future generations of Concordia exchange students will be able to tell the true test, but yeah, hopefully it gives the benefit that I intended. These are all the sources that I used in my research paper, and my research paper really was written with the intent to be presented with my project because it shows all the potential benefits of studying abroad. All in all, my research paper made the point that studying abroad positively affects 3 areas of life, those being linguistic ability, your career advancement, and cultural literacy. And so I just really emphasized those things, and I used a lot of quotes throughout it of like notable people throughout history because they are the people that would know best the effect of cultural literacy and just having a good idea for everything the world has to offer. So to kind of reflect on my project, one thing that I think was kind of difficult throughout the whole thing was I knew that I would have to present. And presenting in front of people, that wasn't the thing that scared me. It was presenting something that, it was essentially presenting a travel guide to a group of people who I knew probably wouldn't be traveling. So it just wouldn't be interesting. So I had to prioritize making sure that I went over the process more than the project. The project is still an important part, but like I wanted to talk about how I came up with this idea and why it was so important to me and all of that to kind of get to where I am now. When presenting, one thing that was really important to me was to have the correct vibe. So I wanted to be wearing a blazer and a stool, and I just wanted it to be me and my audience talking, but I didn't get my blazer soon enough for social distancing, but hey, I guess you can't predict that. But I know that I was still fortunate enough that I didn't have to have a lot of hands-on-hands like work to do my project. So social distancing really only affected my presentation, not really the creation of my project. So that's lucky. So another challenge of my project was that it was so hard to narrow down what I wanted to do my project on. Like I did have some other ideas, like one thing was like going to a ton of local businesses and seeing if I could convince them to like use like paper straws, like an initiative like that, or maybe even starting a recycling program at Concordia, like all these things. But when thinking about them, I realized that I would have a lot more options and expertise surrounding me if I did something regarding the exchange, which was kind of my primary idea anyways, but it was like really hard because I had to narrow that down, but I do have a lot of passion, so it was like difficult to figure out what exactly I wanted to do my project on, but I'm really happy with what I chose because I think that my project is a really good reflection of everything that I'm proud of and passionate about, and I think that it does a really good job of showing how hard I worked towards that and everything that I gained from the exchange. I think that I've gotten a lot of growth out of this project and a lot of positives have come out of this project. But I think the biggest one is I have just learned to be more proud of my work. Throughout the whole process, I felt like I wasn't proud of my project until the very end. But I think that I should have been more proud of the whole process instead of just the final product because it took a lot of hard work. And so I wish that I just would have I wish I would have embraced all of the moments when the project looked rough or just needed a little bit more work and elbow grease instead of just waiting until the final product to be proud of it, because I really am proud of how hard I've worked on it and everything that's going to come out of it and just the final product in general. I think that it's really cute and I think that it's really impactful, and I think that it reflects me as a person and my passion very, very well. All in all, I was so blessed to have a project that I was so passionate about. I truly believe that the Spanish exchange changed how I viewed the world and just changed what I wanted to do with my life. It really helped me decide what my college major would be. So I think that was such a valuable experience for me, and I wanted to give other people that opportunity to have a similar experience. And just because of that, that's what really made my project so meaningful to me. And so I'd like to thank a couple of people who helped me along the way. I'd like to thank my parents for just supporting me and just helping to get me motivated to work on my project. Not only that, but to find something in my project that I was super passionate about and just even giving me the opportunity to study abroad. And so I'd also like to thank Senora Booth for just being such a great mentor and really helping me to figure out which direction I wanted this project to go, and even giving me the opportunity to have something that's going to affect future years of Concordia exchange students and maybe even more people. So I'd like to thank her as well. And I'd also like to thank Miss Erdos for always being an ear to listen to and for being so patient even when my project was moving a little slower than it should have been. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed hearing all about my process and just my project in general and everything that led up to that. Just thank you for watching through. Please enjoy the rest of my video from my Spanish exchange. Thank you.
Hey Natalie, first of all, I want to congratulate you on your senior project. And I want to tell you how much fun I've had working on it with you and how it's brought back so many great memories of both times that we've been to Spain together. And that I'm always going to have fond memories of that first trip and that you were a part of that. And the second trip, I remember that you packed me some almonds And you're always a good traveling companion, and I always appreciate that. And one of the things I've always admired most about you is that you face things head on, and that even though you were a little nervous the first time we went to Spain, you just went with all your gusto and you made the most of it, like you do everything that you encounter. And that I know that you're going to have a great future because of that quality. And I'm looking forward to seeing where you go next and keeping in touch with you and following all your future adventures.